Hey, welcome back to Cohesion Through Chaos. This is Dale, and we are here to do a fun little tarot reading with some really amazing cards that I just recently got from Barnes and Noble. Okay, they're a little bit scary. I think they would um, maybe not attract everybody, but for me, I was like, oh man, that is so cool. So I'm just going to push the camera back and I'm going to do like I normally do. We'll go through our first little ritual of clearing the cards, eating my salt. I got my coffee right nearby here if I need some. And I am not chewing gum today, but I did say that chewing gum really helps my brain just to keep moving because I am somebody who like always has to be moving. Not necessarily my body, like I'm not like a super hyperactive person, but I am like my brain's always ticking along. So I'm usually like tapping my foot or chewing gum or clicking a pen. All right, so let's do this. Let's clean up the energy space here. Now, I do have a lighter for my sage today. So if you have a hard time lighting your sage, it's probably because it needs more air within it. So knock off the old, what do you call, like the burned stuff, knock that off and then rub it around and it will create a little bit more space for the air to flow through so that it can burn more easily. Because if you don't know, it's oxygen. You guys remember Backdraft from the 90s, right? Okay. Sage is really great for just making everything feel better. All right. And we add tons of sage to our Thanksgiving meals. So maybe there's reason for that more so than just, maybe sage helps us to be grateful for things, thankful. All right. And then here's my salt. And I do that to increase my electrical conductivity because our heart functions on electricity. And think it just helps us. This is a sea salt. So I think it helps me to get into the understanding of emotions and messages better. Okay. And then I have my Florida water, which I keep in this cute little thing, but it's like just perfectly sized for it. So it sits like that, gives it extra stability. And it's kind of like a little espresso cup from when I went to Louisiana Starbucks in the fall. All right, so I put a little bit of Florida water on my hands and I put a little bit on yours if we were doing a reading in person. Okay. And what we're gonna do is I get a lot of sense that these decks, especially this one, is like really good for dark feminine advice. Okay. A dark feminine is not a bad thing. Like dark feminine energy, we all have it. Okay. We all have light feminine energy. It doesn't matter like what body you're born into. And I will get more into the explanation of what is feminine and masculine energy as opposed to like gender stuff. Okay. Because people are real confused out there these days, and you need to understand how you have it within yourself so that you can keep balance and keep moving forward on the things that matter to you. Okay. Because feminine energy is inspiration. Um, for masculine energy to do the productive work, okay, to keep the feminine safe. Just taking this out of the deck, um, it's the Queen of Swords, okay, which in this deck, oh my gosh, she is so incredibly beautiful. It's like her throat chakra is opening up and it's connecting the pathway between the heart, the throat, and the brain, right? It's like she opened up this communication superhighway with this piece of jewelry that she's got on. So I can tip it down so you can sort of see what I'm doing, but really I'm just shuffling up and we're just going to get some messages for what everybody needs to hear today. And this is for like the concept of it being dark feminine energy is that if you were just to say that, like, I'm in my dark feminine today, like you just go to work and you say that to somebody, they're going to think that you are a witch and that you are crazy. Okay. And that's not what it is. It's that like the dark feminine is the intuitive. It's like the high priestess. Okay. And we'll get into the meanings of those things um in the future. But let's just see what we got and what we need to know. Both? Okay. We're gonna leave it like that. Okay. She is back at the bottom. I find this to happen so often. It's so cool. Let me just see what's in the cut here. Temperance and the Hanged Man. Okay. Temperance is like what I love about this deck is that it is so non-traditional. All right. And this reminds me of the new Crow movie, which very much speaks to some truths in my life that have happened. And it's Shelley like descending into the underworld where Eric cannot get her until he avenges their death. Okay. And the Hanged Man is about being stuck in an uncomfortable position to achieve enlightenment. And that's kind of like what Eric was put into after their death, right? Okay. And what I see looking at me is the Emperor and the Ten of Pentacles. And he is like quite scary looking, but he's also like, don't worry, I have a plan. And it comes on the, it's on all of these like coffins. Okay. Um, but it's like 10. Okay. I like to be able to see the screen so I can see what we're looking at here and see if you can actually see it. So there is a card that is the Ten of Swords, and that is like the death of old ideas. And it's like, but in this one, he's like, don't don't worry, because Ten of Pentacles is all supposed to be about like financial abundance and like your earthly abundance, everything that you own in this earth, in the physical world. And he's like, don't worry, I had to put a bunch of bodies, like I had to stack a bunch of bodies first for you in order to open up a new space where you get to thrive. Okay. He's like, you didn't have to do it. That's dirty work. You didn't have to do it. You just had to stay true in your light. All right. And then we've got the Page of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups. And I'm glad these came out again near each other. And then we've got the Fool and the Two of Swords. Okay. Because in a previous reading that I did with this deck, they came out in the spread together. And it was what I was talking about was that the Page of Pentacles. So Page is a childlike energy. Okay. And the Page of Pentacles is like a childlike energy in the pursuit of bringing in money. Okay. So it's like, what is going to get a child out of bed every morning? If you go and wake your kids up and you're like, hey, everybody, get up for school, or like get your ass up out of bed for school. It's like, do they want to do that thing? Hell no. What they want to wake up to maybe is like your energy and like, what are you doing? Do you put on music in the morning to like get yourself or your family up? Or are you just a monster and you're like, don't talk to me until I've had my coffee? There, you have no right to be able to say those things. You are not an authority figure over anybody just because of your age or placement. Okay. I don't care if somebody tells you like, you're the boss. You're not the boss unless you have been raised up by your people because they want you to lead them. Okay. That's a fucking boss. Boss should only ever be judged based on their subordinates, not their superiors. All right. Because they're all playing this good old boy game. But anyway, the Seven of Cups is like, here's what's at the top right now. This is what fulfills most people. It's their fucking shadow. It's like they don't even see what's in the cup. They're drinking from the shadow. But for me, it's all these other things that interest me. It's like all those other things that are important. There's like a skull of an animal. Okay. So the concept of death, you have to keep that in your heart in order to know how to live while you're still alive. Okay. So that's why, like, the concept of death, you need to metabolize in your heart, in your emotions. Okay. Not always be scared of it. There's a snake. And it's like, I had this funny idea that the snake is always depicted as like this evil thing, right? And speaking of evil, okay, the snake is depicted as a bad thing in the Garden of Eden. All right. But speaking of evil, there were two people in the Garden of Eden. There was Adam and there was Eve. Okay. Now, can you say evil without saying her name? No. So they like associate women with evil. They associate the snake with evil. Well, if you can see, I have a tattoo of a snake because it's of a king snake, and king snakes are willing to like eat other snakes and rodents. So that's, and I used to have one, and I discovered them because it was in my grass in Louisiana, and I wanted to know if it was like poisonous or good. So it's like, keep that king snake in your heart, okay? So it can like just eat up all the evil that's coming towards you. All right. And then there's keys, and that means that you have to unlock things like your emotions. You have to unlock them. There's a heart, right? People have to unlock, they have to use the keys to unlock your heart. You don't just give it over. Okay. It fills up your cup. So you need to find people who know how to honor that. There's scrolls, which means that there's wisdom, that there's like an emotional fulfillment when you achieve knowledge that is ancient, but it vibes with you. When you kind of like turn away from what's going on in the day-to-day world because it's meant to scare you and manipulate you, and you don't have to play into that anymore. Okay. And these are like roots growing upwards. And that is because you can get rooted no matter where you are once you find your inner wisdom. All right. So it's like, let everybody up here thinking that they're at the top because they're drinking from the shadows. They are drinking from the cup of Satan, right? It's like the devil only exists on the earth. There is no such thing as the devil outside of the body realm. So yeah, the devil is more powerful than you, because you are just a mere human. But the devil can body hop, right? It can hop from human to human, and it has embodied you from time to time, right? That's why we're not all pure. Jesus and like people who are in that kind of like lineage of history, meaning like that they were seen as somewhat like pure. Those are the people that, hang on one second. There are certain people in history that, whether they be myth or whether they be like real, true people, it's like they are seen somewhat as sin free. But you have to look at these people and realize that they were not emotion free. Like they did what was right when it called for it, because these other things were a sin. So don't think that you just get to sit back and like, um, I'm all about light and love and meditation and peace and all that stuff. It's like, no, there's, is there not a term called freedom fighters, right? Like, how do I know that term if it doesn't exist? Like, nobody said it to me. Oh, actually, I did hear it like on a video that I was watching on a TED Talk, I think. But anyway, so look at this card. This is the Fool. This is the first card of the tarot deck. It's a 0 card, but it's the first card of the tarot deck. And it's like, this is you, right? Running away from those shadows. Do you see the wolves here? And that's what I'm saying. You don't need to be scared of anything unless the wolves are at your door, unless they are like chasing you. And that is when you have to go with God. You have to go. She is in all white. The wolves are in the shadows. They are in black. And so she knows what God's path for her is, because she's going to find it as she goes, right? If she sees like a tangled bramble of like stuff, but on the other side is like complete freedom. Hey, guess what? The shortest point from A to B, like as the crow flies, which is the name of my other channel, that's the way you got to go sometimes, because those other things, they can't necessarily get through there to find you because it's so like thick, right? And because people want to take the easy way. So they go with, look at, look at this cup. Which one has the most substance coming out of it? It's the shadow. It's so easy to get. It's so easy to drink from. You are not supposed to drink from that cup. You're supposed to learn, because things never end up the way that the promises are made for those things. You cannot trust anything on the words that represent it or them. Okay, so just know that this 2 of Swords, right? 2 of Swords is like this idea of indecision, and it's like, it doesn't matter, because what you're going to do is follow the moon. You're going to follow the way in the darkness that God has for you. Do you think that this looks like a real sunny day and she can clearly see the path ahead of her? Or do you think that this is what she's looking at ahead of her, right? It's almost like she's looking here and she's like, okay, well, there's 2 decisions, there's 2 paths that I could go, but instead I'm just going to jump in between them and follow the moon, because like to take either path, I'm going to have to like, uh, I'm going to have to contend with this sword in my way. That's going to be dangerous. So just go right through. Don't worry. Don't worry about those decisions. When you're overthinking, you're using your brain in the wrong way. Okay. The reason why we are different than animals is because we do have the reptilian animal brain, and then we have our thinking brain up here, right? Like the prefrontal cortex, this kind of stuff. And this is called our temples, right? Okay. So obviously, like your brain is contained within your temples because there is something strong about it, but you need to know how to learn it and how to use it properly. Your emotions are the first things that are triggered when anything happens, and everything that you're doing is creating choice every single day, or not creating choice, but making decisions. Okay. You're constantly making decisions, even just in what to let occupy space in your mind. Like, oh, I can't think about where I want to go on vacation for too long because I got to make dinner, right? So you're like making a decision to break that connection in order to build a connection with your plans for dinner, because it's going to have to happen at some point in the imminent future. Okay. So you need to know, um, your emotions are always going to come first. Always, 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 always. And then your brain is going to kick in and be like, why am I feeling those emotions? And it'll look and point at things in your environment, people in your environment, to what are causing those things. And then you're going to be freaking miserable based on whatever feelings you wake up with, so maybe not miserable, but you are going to be what the feelings are that you wake up with. And that is just a fact. That's how it works. So if you have feelings, don't just disregard them. Don't try to trick yourself out of them. Find the feeling, like describe what it is. Let's see what we have at the bottom here, the Harvest. Okay. And this Wreath to me is like a wreath of harvest. All right. So I like it. Every time I see this, I think about uh corn maze that my kids and I go to at the place called Pumpkinville when they have like a fall festival every year. So let me see if I can get back to what I was saying and if it really mattered. If I get steered off course, that's because I didn't really need to keep saying it. Or if I say things that clearly sound wrong because I listen back to my videos and I'm like, oh my gosh, I said it way wrong. But a lot of times people say that they don't notice my typos and stuff like that because the meaning of what I'm putting out is more powerful than the stupid words that I say. But I'm so critical and analytical that I look at this. Flight came out on the cut, which is, it just reminds me of this, where it's not a bad thing. Like taking flight is like you are trying to outrun the shadows right now. And when you run into the light, the shadows can't be there, right? They can't exist. Oh, there's a goat on there. And like I'm a Capricorn, so I always see that as relevant. Okay. And it says face. So it's like face it, don't flee from it. Okay. Face your fears, don't flee from them. Yeah. So I have watched a lot of tarot readers over time because I found out that that was a thing on YouTube. I didn't really know about it. But I So a lot of I'm like, dang, tell me more about yourself. Tell me more about yourself in the readings. I want to know, do you know that you're speaking for yourself or are you just speaking for us? I just want to know more. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do that. I am going to do this channel unpolished, unrefined, um, with the lowest physical investment possible with my time and money that it takes. And then I'm going to go through and tell you very easily, like how I did it so that you can do it for yourself too. Okay. So anyway, let's just take a look at what we got and then let's close this out. I think I don't think I'll really have anything else to say. All right. So we got the card for dinner, the call, and suspicion. Now, these cards are from, there's a train going by, so it's very loud. I don't think it'll pick up on the mic though. I am going to read the meanings from the book because these are all classic horror movies and I freaking love the idea of this book and my kids are all into it. We went through each one. That's the thing is like I'm not scared of anything, so I make sure that my kids are not scared of anything. The things that I'm scared of are like stupid things, like if my phone rings or if somebody knocks on the door or that's like speaking of it's like a celebration. We have a birthday coming up in the family this week and so we're all getting together. So that's the thing is like planned celebration I know how to deal with that, right? But I still don't have it in my own space. I feel like my space is very protected. And when people come on into it, I'm just like, you know, I know you know what I'm talking about. Let me pause it and get the book out. Okay, first I'm going to read this thing. It's about the films. The films in this deck were chosen because they each have some sort of eerie resonance or creepy power, even while ranging in tone from serious to less so, and in vintage from foundational to fairly recent. Um, These are not meant to represent the 50 best or greatest horror films. Paraphrasing The Simpsons, that kind of list always amounts to the list maker saying, hey, you, let's fight. That's funny. And everyone else replying, them's fighting words. We hope the deck may also serve as a viewing oracle. Draw a card on a quiet Friday night, dim the lights, and watch the film your deck has foretold. This is the first time that I knew that this page was in there. And I was talking about on my other channel about how we were using the deck me and the kids were using the deck to choose a card and try to watch the movie. And we only got as far as like 3 movies because one of them I really wanted to watch anyway, and that was Candyman Farewell to the Flesh, because I love all things New Orleans. And I watched that movie when I was a kid, even though I was like in New York. And oh man, I love it. I love it. That's why things like that, they don't scare me. They like remind me of childhood. It's like nostalgia. Okay. So I can't be scared by the silly things of the darkness and the unknown. It's like it's comedic to me because I understand that it's all just manipulation games, right? Like Monsters Inc. They realized that there was way more power in laughter than screams. Okay, that's like love. All right. So Celebration is about the movie Carrie, directed by Brian De Palma in 1976. You're just trying to trick me again. I know. It can be easy to find ourselves pushed beyond our personal limits, especially when drenched in a bucket full of others' cruelty and ignorant misjudgment. Venturing out with a sense of optimism comes with the risk of bitter disillusionment, and we may find ourselves lashing out even at those who have tried to help us all along. A celebration can turn into a nightmare. So if it's upright, then you practice self-care, avoid overextending yourself. And I am never trying to read in reversals, okay? If things pop out and like they shift themselves on the table in a reverse order, then it might mean something. But this is the overall message for everything. This is like the overall guidance. Practice self-care, avoid overextending yourself. And that is all that this channel is me talking about, is like how to do that, how to get done what is right for the particular day that you're in, so that you're not always running the same schedule, that you leave room for miracles, but stick to a schedule for yourself of productivity, for what lights you up, what makes you uncomfortable because you're afraid of success, not failure. All right. So, dinner and the call. I'm going to read the call first because I feel like I should, because I'm in the C's. All right. The call is from Scream. Okay. Directed by Wes Craven, 1996. Why? Oh, I'm sorry. You should never say who's there. Okay. Do you remember that movie? You probably want to let it go to voicemail. Nothing good ever comes from an unexpected call from an unknown number. And that's what I was talking about. It's like, that's why I'm afraid of my phone. I'm afraid of the sounds of my phone because, like, I've had so much bad stuff come my way that I'm like, nah, I don't even want to, it's like, you run into me on the street or something like that if you have something, that a message for me. And that's usually how things happen. It's like divine messengers that we end up lighting each other up. And that's where I want to see you. I want to see you face to face, where we can look in each other's eyes and we can see the truth, or if you're a swindler. Okay. All right. So self-awareness does not always constitute self-defense. Ironic distance can provide the illusion of safety. Can what you reframe really hurt you? The corrupt can't resist congratulating themselves. Bad news and misdirection can cut us to the quick if we give it half a chance. Upright, turn your ringer off. And that's what I've been doing, is keeping my ringer off so that it doesn't freak me out. Just hurry up and go through and don't be all weird about it. Okay. My son is trying to be kind and walk through quietly and not disturb. Okay. So the next one is dinner. We're almost there. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, directed, I'm going to say that this is Tobe Hooper. Okay. It makes me want to say Toby, but it's Tobe Hooper, 1974. And the events in the world are not doing much either to cheer one up. Maybe you do not. Okay, so that's a quote from the movie, and it says, maybe you do want to look closely at how the sausage is made. If you make a steady diet of the brain stunningly awful aspects of life around us through the news, social interactions, interpersonal conflicts, you're sure to find that what you're feeding yourself is actually all consuming. Don't let it eat you up. All right. So find people online that are worth listening to so that you don't have to eat the sausage that they're creating for you in social media and the rest. Okay. So in the upright, you are what you eat. Focus on sustainable options. And if you watch the videos that I just made, well, I don't know what order I'll post them in, but I just made 2 videos before this. You can tell what days I'm posting on based on what shirt I'm wearing. Excuse me, I had to burp, and that's hopefully an energetic burp, because it's that's what happens when you're clearing through energy centers. These are all classes that I am going to put together for us so we can speak a common language and understand each other. Okay. All right. So the last one is suspicion. So let me pause it and flip to the page, because I prefer tarot readings with efficiency, where I'm not watching the person just fall apart. Okay. Suspicion is Invasion of the Body Snatchers, directed by Philip Kaufman, 1978. And here's the quote: don't be trapped by old concepts. Okay. This is very, very important right now. There are times when it can feel like everything, those around us, even society at large, is changing at a disorienting pace, a cosmic disorder introduced to the way we thought life would always be. Holding on to our individual perspective can be exhausting, and the temptation to give in can be overwhelming. Is this new way of thinking really so bad just for being new? So, in the upright, keep a wary eye on how things are evolving. Okay. This is what I'm talking about. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. The shadow. Things are not easy to see in the shadow. So don't get up out of bed and do some shit unless it gets you excited to get up out of bed. Okay. If you're still living in an old traditional society like we all are, which is like the modern fast paced one, I'm not talking about some like ancient society, then look forward to getting up, getting that cheddar, like going to work to get your money if you have the stability of a job, which I haven't been welcomed into that stability, even though I like try. I don't really want to be a part of that life. So I think that's why God's like, no, you just got to do it my way. Sorry. So I'm like, all right, God. So start reframing the way that you're looking at everything and realize the only reason to go and work for somebody else and promote somebody else's ideals is for you to take money away from somebody else that could use it for more greedy purposes. So gain that money the way that it's presented for you and then use it and invest in yourself. Learn an instrument, go dancing, do something awesome, go camping, all right? Reconnect with nature, do some shit, go run from some wolves out in the dark, okay? You'll be okay. You'll be okay. The wolves on Wall Street are the ones that you got to worry about. All right. You're going to be fine. All right. We'll leave it at that. You know what? I'm going to grab one of these. These used to be on my dinner table when I was a kid. And these are verses from the Bible. This is Billy Graham Evangelistic Association Bible Promises. Okay. It's from the late 1900s, the 1980s to be exact. All right. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Matthew 5:3. Okay. Take that to heart today. Find some meaning in it and realize that people who have tarot cards aren't necessarily powered by darker entities. Okay. I get my messages from the same person through and through, or same energy through and through. When thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burnt, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee. Isaiah 43:2b. Okay, that was just on the other side, and I saw it as I was putting it away. And that's a beautiful one. When you have the protection of God, right? This girl, she's running forward. She is not going to trip on those swords and she's not going to be burned. All right. She's being protected. And this dude was like, if there are bad people in the world and they're seen for being bad for what they do, we need those type of people to get like the evil people out of the way. Remember Luigi from New York who like murdered the CEO of whatever, that healthcare CEO? Murder sounds like a bad thing, but I'm pretty sure that that dude was responsible for letting a lot of lives be lived uncomfortably until their death by denying them medical coverage and things like that. In modern medicine, I don't think people are healthier now than they were before everybody had to have health insurance. Okay, so I can just keep rambling forever and ever and ever because the Queen of Swords gave me the power to speak from my heart. Okay, so I love you. I'm checking out. It's 27:27 just as I look. So check in with me and let me know what you're feeling, what this reflects from your life, how you resonate with it, what you don't like. That would be awesome too. Okay, I love you. Bye.